Welcome to what will be perhaps one of the most controversial subjects in any family business. And the reason I say that is because a lot of families don't do this. Or if they do it badly. The subject is, can I fire a family member? If you are sitting in a room listening to this with family members, I promise you, you might not say it, but in your head you're thinking, I know exactly which family member I want to fire or get rid of. I'm pretty sure somebody will think you're the person that they need to get rid of. But how do you fire a family member? There are several ways. There's the nasty way, and I've seen that happen in front of me. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was done. It wasn't handled very well. There's the intelligent way, and there's the subtle way. Let me start with the subtle way. The subtle way is an outward promotion. Most families don't want to cause a scene, don't want to cause a fight, don't want to harm one another, at least don't want to be seen to harm one another. And they don't want to feel that they're the bad person. So the easiest way to get rid of a family member, and by the way, there is a right time to get rid of a family member. And there's the wrong reasons to fire a family member. The wrong reason to fire a family member is because you disagree with him or her, or because you don't understand what they're saying, or because they're talking a different language than you are, i.e., they're talking 20 years down the road and you're talking about 20 years in the past, or the other way around. That's not a reason to fire a family member. In fact, if a person is thinking outside of the norm, you might want to have him or her around because they might be seeing things you don't see. That actually is something you want to keep. But the reason you want to fire a family member is because that family member is either obtuse, belligerent, troublemaker, causes rifts, and basically acts as a pain for any decision making to happen. Not because they actually have an opposite view, but because for them, it's a lot of fun to cause problems. They don't want anyone else to do things other than them. Those are the ones you really want to say, there's the door on your way out. As I said, the subtle way of doing that is to upward promote the person and outward promote the person. You're thinking, what do you mean? Okay. You create an outpost in a very unfavorable place, and you have a business or an office there. I hope I'm not going to have any listeners from Papua New Guinea who get angry with me. But let's say you put them in Papua. I say I'm creating an office in Papua New Guinea. Now, why did I say Papua New Guinea? Because first, getting in and out of Papua New Guinea is not easy. There's really not much to do over there. Unless you're into mining, there really isn't much to do. The population's small. It's really a very restrictive place. Now, if you want to sit and do nothing, it's a fantastic place. So create an outpost in Papua New Guinea and say, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, you're now the chairman or the CEO of the company, a branch in Papua New Guinea. So I've promoted them upward and outward. Now, if they say no, they can't complain that you haven't given them an opportunity to up their game. So you are legally, and I'm using this, and I know it's talked about legal in the past, not obliged to what you call to keep them on board. You cannot touch them as a shareholder. As a family member, if they are a shareholder, you cannot touch them as a shareholder. But in terms of operations, if they are not willing to fulfill what an operating directive that's given to them is there, you are within the right to say, thank you very much, ma'asalam. I don't need this. So there's this upward and outward. That's the easy way. It's a very subtle way of doing it. And if you, that's one, by the way, one way of doing it. The other way is to take him out of a significant location. Usually, a lot of people want to be in the where the headquarters is. So because that's where the ideas, the brainstorming, the decision making, all of it happens over there. And you put him or her as the head of an outpost, but still part of the business. I don't have to create a new office, etc. So head of warehousing. And he or she likes the office. If you're putting them in head of warehousing, they're going to have a lot of headaches they don't really want. They're going to be into the operating side, which they really don't understand or don't really care for. So you, by doing that, you're also giving them things to do that they won't enjoy. And how long does it take before a person who doesn't enjoy it says, nah, bye-bye, I'm out of here? This is firing a family office without actually firing firing a family member without actually firing a family member. This is the subtle way of doing it. The open way is you give the person a task. He or she fails to fulfill the task. You give him, but you're giving fair KPIs, not unusual KPIs. So these key performance indicators are something that's fair, that you'd give any other normal manager. And he or she fails to do it once, give them another chance. And the reason, by the way, you're giving them a lot more chances than a normal person is because they are part of the family member, family business, and they're a family member, and you want to give them every opportunity possible. They fail to do it several times, and then after a while you say, you know what, I have really given you a lot of opportunities. You have failed to fulfill any of these things. In some cases, it might be an environment that doesn't allow you to work, but the environment was suitable, the education that you have was suitable, the time horizon you had was suitable, and you failed to do this because you don't want to do this. That's enough. There's the way, there's the door. Thank you very much. That's actually a fair way of saying to a person, goodbye. Because you're not being harsh, you're not being mean, you're not giving them impossible standards to live up to. You've done none of these things. If they are educated enough, if they have enough experience, if they have enough motivation, any person should fulfill this. And as a family member, there's a stronger impetus to want to fulfill it because you're protecting not just the business, but you're also protecting your family name. So there is a reason why that person should be given more chance, but eventually, if he or she fails to do it, there's the door. Thank you very much. And I'll find somebody else who will fulfill this role. Now the last one. And this is where you, for the hell of it, and you're nasty, you go out and actively try to fire family members. Because you don't like them. Because it doesn't suit you. Doesn't fulfill your requirement. Because they badger you. Because they talk back to you. Because they have ideas you don't like. Not because they've lost money. They might actually have made money. They might have made the company money. They might be really good, what you call it, when they interact with the people. But you don't like them. And it has to do with personality. There's no standard on this thing. So when you have a situation like this type of firing of a family member is nasty. And we need to appreciate and understand these type of people you should be afraid and worried from and of. Because they're not trying to actually do something beneficial for the family or for the business or helping the communication happen within the family. They're here to prove a point. I'm the boss. And that's it. This is an unfair, these type of firings are unfair and should be something you should be aware of and cautious from. In the first case, if a person is belligerent, if a person is aggressive, if a person is bad, creates bad public relations issues, those are things that if you can give them an opportunity to correct, do. give them an opportunity to correct. Some people can correct and can actually be beneficial to the family and subsequently the family business. And others, no matter how much you try, we have a lovely saying in Arabic, عادت حليمة لعادتها القديمة, which means that Halima, the name of the person, has gone back to her old habits. You can try, but you have to give them an opportunity. And if they fall back into their old habits, where they are belligerent, where they're painful, where they're shouting at employees, whether they think that the world owes them a favor, all of these are signs you should be paying attention to say, this is a person that I should find the door for him or her. That's fine in terms of firing a family member. But what you should not do is fire a family member because you disagree with them, because they don't listen to me, because they don't have the right clothes. You'll find as many petty excuses as you can if you are a tyrant why you should fire this person. The thing is, the tyrant that does that, what he or she doesn't understand is while in the overall view of the market and the people, the clientele and operators and environment that he or she is working with, when you fire somebody who everyone can see is belligerent, everyone can see is a problematic person, everyone can see is a person who fights people, causes problems, who hurts people, they won't hold that against you. But what they will hold against you is when they see somebody who is not any of those things I mentioned, and you go after them just to get rid of them. They will not forget that. They will think about it when they work with you. Like, if he's willing to do this to his family member, what the hell is he willing to do to me? I might have a transactional thing happening between us, but that's all it'll ever be, a transactional thing, because I don't want to hook my ship or my boat, my caravan to his car. If he's willing to be nasty with his own family member, how nasty will he be with me? And I have no blood relationship with him. You need to be aware of these things, because sometimes we do things without conscientiously understanding the ramifications of our action. So be aware. There are methods of firing a family member. It is acceptable to fire a family member. It's not acceptable to fire a family member because they piss you off. They need to be given opportunities and chances, and if they failed to fulfill it, and you can't at least neutralize them. Well, let's face it, I keep family members within my family business because they're my family. And I have an obligation and a duty towards them. If they're neutral, meaning they cause no problems, yes, they're causing an expense, but still, they cause no problems. They can be someone I can roll out every once in a while to a public relation situation. Somebody who can smooth things over. I don't need him or her to do this 24/7. But they're there, and they represent the family, and they're a good person. Fine, they're not the most brilliant minds, but I keep them there because they're part of my family. Versus that who is going to cause major damage to my reputation, to my name, to the way we interact with the different parts of the community, whether it's the governmental part, whether it's the social part, whether it's the... even, again, now, today, we have to be very much concerned about social media. It's very strange now. Kind of awkward with me saying this because I'm utilizing social media. But social media, you think, my office life is my office life and my personal life is my personal life. No. Sadly, if you're part of a family business, your social life is also part of the family business. And everything you say and everything you do is reflective on the family. So you have to be aware of that. If a person is destructive in the social media side, that's also a legitimate reason to say to the person, ma salama, from the business, not from the family. You're not splitting that person from the family, or him or her are always going to be part of the family. But you don't want them being part of the business of the family. So he or she can enjoy the benefits of being a shareholder, but not necessarily in management. So yes, there are times when you need to fire family members, and there are times when firing a family member is a mistake. Intelligent people can judge and understand what's what and when. If you're smart, people will quickly realize it. And if you're dumb, people will quickly realize it as well. And if you're nasty, and I'm strongly aware of the words I'm using here, because there are a lot of people who are also with power. They drink the Kool-Aid, as they say. They believe that they can do no wrong. And they feel that they are able to dispense the laws of God. Because in their head they think they're God, with a small g. Those are the ones you want to be afraid of. And I would never want that for you to interact with a person like that, or encounter a person like that. By the way, if you do encounter a person like that, the ideal situation is, it's not what you might want, but it's the best for you and for your mental rest, is either find a way to find this person out of his or her position, and if that's not possible, you leave. Because you are not going to win. And that person is going to continue to abuse and abuse, because he or she gets off on this abuse. His joy or her joy, it's more likely him, by the way. It's a sad thing to say, but usually it's older men who enjoy abusing others, mentally abusing others, mentally harming others, and will continue to pursue this. So if you cannot find a way out within the organization, leave. And time will address things. This is not a cop-out. I'm not telling you to give up everything. No. But what's more important? Your mental health and happiness, or a few dollars? You have to choose. So in the issue of interacting with people who are like that, even though you might have done everything right, and you're doing everything right, and you're trying hard, sometimes it might be worth being fired. It's an unusual situation, an unusual thing for you to hear, for me to say this. But in some cases, there is no alternative. As I said, if you can find a way to get people on your side to help you calm the situation, great. But if you can't, leave. And it's not a victory for the person who's making you leave. It's a victory for you. To be fired sometimes. See, the thing is, we think of being fired as a loss or as a defeat. Sometimes we're so engaged in something that we miss out on a lot of things outside. And by being fired or by leaving, all of a sudden, once you absorb the pain of I lost, it's okay. Sometimes you need to absorb that. Then you can look at the other opportunities outside of where the pain is coming from, and they might help you grow because of your intelligence, because of your abilities, and grow something that's really significant. and you never have to interact with the people who cause the pain. But you need to do this mental paradigm shift. It's not bad, because we don't know what it's like. It scares us. Well, this is a bit off the topic, but I want to flesh this in terms of people's mindset. Imagine a child, and this child is in a room, and in that room he has a toy. And he's been playing with that toy for such a long time. One of the, let's say it's a teddy bear. One of the eyes has popped out, and stuffing has been coming out of it, and its hair is frazzled. But he still is adamant that this is the toy I want. And he's hooking onto it. And then outside of the room, there's a bigger, nicer, shinier, fluffier teddy bear. Until the first teddy bear is removed from him and he's shoved out of the room, he'll never see the other teddy bear. And as far as he's concerned, or she's concerned, this is my teddy bear. I've dedicated years of munching on this teddy bear, pulling this teddy bear, playing with this teddy bear. I want this teddy bear. But he's not realizing, or she's not realizing, that until I'm outside of that room and I no longer have this teddy bear, I can go enjoy the other teddy bear, which is there. If I can go to it, I can find it, I can play with it. It's new, it's enjoyable, it's fun. And I can start all the things that I want to do with this teddy bear. And I just realized it sounds weird what I just said, but I mean, the child plays with the teddy bear. Versus the old teddy bear that the child was playing with. So don't think of it as a defeat. It's just a change in situation. And sometimes we need that change in situation to allow us to grow. But yes, we do need to fire family members. And it is something most people do not want to talk about. It's not something that should be done for the fun of it, but it should be done if there's a good cause. And if not, be aware. If you are the person firing and you're belligerent and you're nasty and you're self-centered, it will come back to bite you. It might not happen today, but everyone's looking at what you're doing. If you are a significant player in a society, in an environment, in a community, every action you take is counted for you or against you. If you are good, you will find people coming out of the woodwork to support you in your time of need. And if you're bad, you'll find as equal number of people coming out of the woodwork to step on you if they have an opportunity. Be careful how you handle this, but it should also be a tool in your belt should you need it.